Hi everyone, welcome to this new audio. My name is Virginie Lafont. I'm a quantum hypnosis practitioner, and since 2017 I've been working with people who are connected to dragons. In this audio, I'd like to share a short excerpt from my book Chronicles of a Dragon Rider, co-written with Simon Dauger, which is now available in English. This passage comes from the very first quantum hypnosis session described in the book by Simon, my co-author, when a dragon appears for the first time in front of him. What makes this moment important is not only the presence of the dragon itself, but the inner experience it creates. There are two ideas that stand out very clearly in this scene. First one is the impressive arrival of the dragon, and then the strange but profound feeling of recognition and reunion that follows, despite the apparent absurdity of what is happening for a rational mind. So I will read a short passage from the book and then comment briefly on these 2 points. Here is the first passage. I was completely overwhelmed as a gigantic black dragon had just landed before me in a spectacular fashion. Clearly it had been waiting for us to grant it permission, to call it forth, so it could materialize. I must not be taller than its snout. There is a big one, very big. It came very fast. It's black. It's a little scary, but I don't think it's mean. This dragon was truly impressive. I felt incredibly small beside it. Its skin was black and somewhat rocky, like a mix of scales and stones. It seemed very rough. It spread its large wings, and I could see that it had 4 legs. "What does it inspire in you?" Virginie asked. "Strength," I replied, "calm, tranquility, wisdom as well, and beauty." "It's beautiful?" "Oh yes, it's very beautiful." "Connect with it to see if it has a message for you." I felt a wave of energy emanating from the creature, bringing me some answers. This dragon had been waiting for me, and it was mine. I then understood that it had always been there. It seemed so happy to see me, and wanted me to touch it. "Great," Virginie said. "Go ahead, enjoy it." My heart jumped with joy, letting out a small cry of delight as I approached the dragon. Mine stretched his small hands through the bars, wanting to follow us. I didn't hesitate, and neither did the dragon. It suddenly moved forward and pressed its head against my body, closing its eyes. I touched it and was surprised to find that its skin wasn't as rough as I had thought. So what is striking in this moment is the way the dragon appears. It's not vague, it's not symbolic or gentle, but it's sudden, massive, and impressive. For many people, this is unexpected. There is a common assumption that experiences coming from imagination, the subconscious, or the energy realms, or altered states of consciousness should feel soft or reassuring. But in many quantum hypnosis sessions, what appears first is not what the mind expects. It can be destabilizing and even overwhelming. And here, there is another important point to clarify, especially for people discovering this work for the first time. The dragon that appears is black. So, for many, the color black is immediately triggering fear or suspicion. This reaction comes from cultural beliefs and symbolic association that have been repeated for centuries. But in my experience, black dragons are not negative beings. They are often perceived as intimidating simply because they do not correspond to what the mind finds reassuring. Actually, dragons are not assigned a color by any external system. They choose their own appearance. And color is part of how they present themselves to us, but it does not define their nature, their intention, or value. A black dragon does not represent something dark or negative. It often reflects depth, density, and presence, something that does not try to please or comfort the ego. So this is why such an appearance can feel impressive or destabilizing at first. Sometimes dragons can even change their appearance or color. When this happens, it is not about symbolism or hierarchy, but about showing a change of state on their side. But that subject is more complex and goes beyond what I want to explore here today. What matters here is in this first encounter is not the color itself, but what follows. My heart was overjoyed. I felt the happiness radiating from my dragon, and I began to sense a deep familiarity in our bond. Like a long-awaited reunion, it seemed at peace. And how do you feel with it? I feel very good. I'm not sure how to describe it. Would you say it's like a teammate? Virginie suggested. It's more than that, I explained in wonder. It's my friend as well as my teammate. He is him. All right. Since I know he can hear me, I'm going to ask him to help you today by showing or explaining something you need to know. The dragon made it clear that this was precisely why he was there. I didn't even have time to think. Instinctively. I found myself climbing onto his back. I was ready to show me... He was ready to show me everything. Gripping its neck, I warned Virginie as I settled into place. We're taking off. I don't know where. I mumbled, very surprised at my own initiative to ride a dragon, as if it were something I did every morning. This is the second key aspect of this moment. Despite the absurdity of the situation, despite the part of the mind that says, this makes no sense, there is a deep feeling of recognition and reunion after a very long time. And this is not really excitement nor fantasy. It's recognition, reunion, and remembrance. Many people describe this same sensation in quantum hypnosis sessions, something that should feel impossible yet feels strangely known, familiar, and then they remember. So this is not about belief. It's not about convincing oneself of anything. It's about an inner response that arises spontaneously before the mind has time to analyze or reject it. And this paradox, something that appears absurd while simultaneously feeling deeply familiar, is one of the most recurrent elements in my quantum hypnosis session with dragons. It is often at this precise moment that people realize something important is happening, even if they cannot yet explain it. This is why I wanted to share this passage. Not to convince or explain dragons intellectually, but to show how these experiences unfold naturally, even for someone who did not expect them. Now, if you'd like to explore this journey further, this story continues in Chronicles of a Dragon Rider, available on Amazon. And if you like this audio, please share it. And if you want to know more about my work about the dragons, join me on my Facebook page. I'll put the link below. Thank you for listening to me, and I'll see you in the next audio.